Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Live Show. Your boy's losing his voice, but we're going to keep it going here, man. I hope everybody's having a good Tuesday so far. I don't have anything down on the card. I've been pretty swamped with other things. Didn't have the chance to get a video out tonight, but that's why we're doing everything here live. That's why we got Matty here. That's why we got Swish in the comments as well. But how you feeling so far about this slate, Matty? You seem a little bit more optimistic than maybe I am about it.
Well, I can complain, and I'm going to do that today.
Let's get it.
I actually, I didn't get to start looking at the card until about an hour and a half ago, and I was kind of nervous because the last couple slates have been awful. But I've got a couple things down, a couple things written down beyond that. I think it's a pretty good slate, and if things go the way I think they are with the IR, I think it's going to be pretty good.
That's going to be the key. Yeah, that's gonna be the key. Is like, can we play the injury report correctly? Can we figure out exactly what we would do when news eventually comes down? So I kind of want to start talking about things through the lens of San Antonio because we've got the Harper questionable tag. This is a Harper moment, and I kind of want to start there. So I know people are still trickling in. I'm gonna start sharing my screen here. We'll probably start with that video. But go ahead, if you're not familiar, jump in the comments with your bets. We'll go ahead and try to look at that stuff together. And then we'll be finding some bets here that I'll be getting down to for those in the VIP. We're going to be using the SwishLand dashboard and everything. But for those of y'all that don't yet know, Swish is in the comments, and we have good news. Swish likes the comments, the slate today, rather. And he also is feeling like himself again today. So I know nobody could tell that he was a bit sick yesterday because he was so on his game. But we've got Swish in full here. So definitely hit him up. He's the man behind the dashboard that we're going to be taking a look at. Keeps working on it, keeps plugging away to tighten things up and keep making it better for us on the projections. So I'm going to bring that up here and we'll get into it. Like I said, jump into the comments with your bets, though, and we'll look at all that stuff. So are you good to start in that game, Matt? Do you think the San Antonio game's a good start, even though it's not a close game expected?
Well, unfortunately, the bet I have down in this game is a player that is questionable, and that's Dylan Harper. I took the bet because if he plays, he's going to beat it. So there's a couple ways you can play this. You can play the 11.5 number. I think that's fine. They're certainly beatable. I think this is going to be the new number, the new norm, around 10.5, 11.5 for Dylan Harper. Yeah. I think you can take the 3.5 assists. I think that's low. The market's starting to agree with me. It's getting juiced. It's at minus 158. Or you can do what I did. I took the PA at 15.5 because I think he gets 15 points in this game.
Yeah.
And I think the assists are the cherry on top.
Yeah, I can see that. Does he have anything here, I wonder, with the blowout stuff? That's kind of what we're looking at here. This is the SwishLand dashboard we're looking at. I'll be using some player props, or excuse me, PropsMadness as well to look at some more sort of without stuff at times. But he is someone, if we go over to San Antonio and look at the matchup stuff, I don't believe in any way, he's not even really impacted by blowouts necessarily, but the guys around him, obviously like Castle and Fox, are losing minutes in the blowouts when they beat the crap out of other teams. That's all on the matchup side here on the dashboard. So I think that's that's the main look here is they're on a back-to-back, and you've got Duren, Fox and company having gone through a pretty brutal schedule overall, right? If actually put up Fox, you can see they've been going through it, and that's a big reason why it's just been starters for San Antonio that you really want to back when they played Clippers, Hornets, Nuggets, Celtics, Rockets, Clippers, and Pistons for these last like 7 games. Been really tough, and that's why De'Aaron Fox has actually been playing bigger minutes and going over. Dylan Harper's actually still been doing good in those games, so it's almost like he's like moving too far up the bench to necessarily be part of the blowout stuff. But I think having missed a few games too, that kind of helps you feel like he's the guy that has his wind about him, right? That's kind of the cap there.
Yeah, that's the primary one. And then Swish said it. I should have said this off for it. Vassell not being there is major for this.
Right. Yep.
Like he's going to get probably a boost of 2 to 3 minutes with that alone. Yeah. And then probably see another 2 to 3 minutes on top of that to be conservative in the blowouts, a potential blowout.
I was wondering, because we have the Vassell stuff here, right? And if you're looking at the full suite of projections and you click on somebody who's either questionable or out, like Vassell is, you see who does well when they miss. And this was the guy we were looking at for all of those games where he was undervalued with Devin Vassell out, right? There was a long stretch during the season where Champagny was doing really well. This is a good time to bring up PropsMadness for a minute too. For anybody interested in this platform, if you haven't seen it yet, we use this pretty much every day on the show. But if you pull up the stuff for Dylan Harper without I'm not Harper. I'm looking at Champagny real quick. I don't know if it's going to be there anymore, the value for him, because it was something that he was at like 8.5, 9.5 points pretty consistently without Vassell. He's played 13 games, averaging 16.5 points on. He comes into the starting lineup and plays with that usage. I think probably Harrison Barnes comes into the starting lineup now, but it's Champagny still out there. Without Vassell, he's gotten a few more minutes. I don't know. Did you look at Champs at all on the PR?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. If you look at the games without Vassell, he had a couple of heaters in this like sample size.
Yeah.
Not saying he's going to repeat that, but he's capable of at least at minimum getting over this 11.5 pretty easily, especially against this. I feel like 11.5 was a pretty soft number considering Vassell's out. I think that's the easiest way to say it. The opponent here is awful.
Yeah. And I actually think the rebounds might be good to add to it as well, because that is something he's going to be doing a bit. But I mean, Harper doesn't impact that. Vassell just impacts his minutes more than anything. I think that makes sense. Let me pull up Champs real quick. Did you got the bet down on Harper's PA, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're again to repeat what I said a minute ago. Worst case scenario, this voids. If it doesn't void, I feel very, very comfortable it hits.
Yeah,
and I took the 15.5 PA.
Yep. The 15.5 PA for Harper. I'm looking at the 16.5 PR for Champs. I'm just going to write it down for myself right now. Probably going to try to get a few things that I feel good betting, get them down on the list here, and then get them down on my card. But I'm happy to write these ones down. Yeah,
I'll pull up Harper so they can see what I'm looking at specifically, and then pull up Champs as well.
Yeah.
So for Harper, it's not Cardwell. There you are. For Harper, one, you can see right here. There's the delta, right? And these are in actually tough games, like Boston, Houston. But if you look back here, Brooklyn, Toronto, and then there are previous games here. I'll pull up PropsMadness in a second and show them to you. He's pretty easily scoring enough to get to 15. So the 15.5 PA for me is like, I feel like he's going to get a 15 points minimum, and the assist on top of that is just a gold mine. And he's going to get those opportunities naturally against the Kings because the Kings are really bad. And you can see the delta of what's going on here. If you pop over to PropsMadness specifically for Harper or Archie Romeo, we filter to games in which they have won by, I don't know, 15. That's the line, right?
Yeah, it's about 13.5, yeah.
And then you not look at these games where he played less than, let's say, 20 minutes. So give him a floor of 21 minutes. I mean, he's at 16 points. He's at 4.3 assists. And then if you look at the assists, if he goes over, he's like cooking them in assists. So I feel like specifically the assists, again, is just the icing on the cake here. The points, I feel pretty comfortable assuming he's getting at least 13 to 14. And then I really like the chances of the assists just putting the cherry on top there. And then for Chance specifically, let's see what we got here. What do we think of DeRozan 20 points? I'll add that in a moment. We can check that out in a second. When some people talk, what? What?
Oh, we're playing bingo in the chat.
For Champs, the thing that kind of scares me here, and I'm taking it with a grain of salt because of Vassell's in these games, is this: he's just not taking enough shots. But I would be curious if there was a way, and I know there's not, but if we could filter this specifically without Vassell, I imagine this green line is going to be above the closing line more oftentimes than not. And then the rebounds, again, specifically, he's been down on a downswing as of late, but I don't hate the read because it's the Kings. And then again, we come back over here, we look at Julian, take out Vassell, and then look at the rebounds. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know how correlated that is with Vassell specifically, but he was cooking when Vassell was out. I'll just put it like that.
Yeah, the rep chances were high.
And then you look at the PR, he just looks so good.
Yeah, the PR is definitely where I'm at too.
And then we had a look for DeRozan at 20 points. This is a tough opponent, so I'll just keep that in mind for DeMar. And I don't know the rationale of the Kings head coach right now. I don't know what he's doing. He's sometimes playing Russell Westbrook for less than 21 minutes, and then he's also playing him for 35 minutes. So I have no idea how to picture what he's going to do with DeMar. I mean, obviously DeMar is taking a lot of shots, so I don't hate it there. The projection right there is at 22. His fair mark is at 19.5 or 19.9. Recent points at upwards of 27.8. However, the part that really loses me is if he loses by 15, what happens?
Yeah.
You're at 15 points. And then let's look at the minutes specifically. You're at 26 minutes. If you think you can do it in 27 minutes against the Spurs, then I guess it's a good bet. I don't know that I've subscribed to that idea specifically. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not in a rush to bet on anything for the Kings. I don't know who's going to get some time and when DeRozan's going to get those minutes that you're kind of looking at, right? It seems like it's the last 3 he's gotten them. I don't know how to cap a team that isn't trying to win, really. So I'm not really betting on. I'm only trying to bet unders in the chaos of some of these teams that are tanking. Like for instance, Chang is fading DeMar today. I mean, there's going to be so much volatility with these teams, whether it's Memphis or obviously Utah and Washington and all these teams, even like Indy. There's so much volatility with it that's when I look for an under, when there's chaos, much more so than when there's not, because then you can rely, unders will often have more outs. There's more ways they can go right when things are chaotic. When you can bank on the, say again?
Donovan Clingan from last night got in foul trouble.
Yeah, precisely. Foul trouble, where if he's at 10.5 rebounds, maybe you're okay with it because he does, there's the outs don't matter as much. He could still get there in foul trouble. But yeah, with DeMar, it's just like there's so many ways that it goes wrong, to the stuff that you were showing where it's like what happens when they lose by a ton. So that's kind of where I'm at too with DeMar, is like I'm only looking to fade guys that are on these tanking teams. I'm looking for the right spots. If like a backup has a ton of a really low number, then I'm down to get after it. But other than that, like I'm looking for the end of the bench of their opponents as the most reliable things, So
I think a pretty reasonable assumption for his minutes in this game is around 27. To me, that feels like the pretty maximum amount. And I think if you look at this graph right here specifically, I think it's telling you it's around 27 minutes because he's ending right on 19 in like these 4 games that really kind of are 5 games that really kind of illustrate. I take out these outliers, right? I think these 5 games are really important to the key number of the 27-minute projection.
Yeah. And
so if you look at the PRA under, it looks very sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. No
I just don't see him getting above 27 minutes personally.
Yeah. And here's the thing I want to say too, just a quick disclaimer on betting on the NBA props in general. Like it's not that DeMar can't go over. It's just about the minutes, and we just don't trust that, right? So if you just don't trust it, then 20.5 is going to be high because he needs to play a certain amount of minutes and have the game go a very specific way to keep him in it for those minutes. And I just don't think that's going to happen in this one. So yeah, I'm with all that. Let's we can keep rolling to another one. I think we touch on most of the stuff in this game, unless the people are trying to bet on the Kings, which I know we're not really necessarily trying to do. Cool. So we'll come back to it. I'm going to get to what's the first game we're talking about here? We got the Thunder and the Magic, and I know I got some looks for that in the saved comments as well. One of the comments that was brought up is a bet that I know that you have on your card. So let me go ahead and bring that one up. If you want to talk about Shai's assist for a minute, would you be down for that?
Yeah. I mean, it's rather simple. Orlando is not a difficult opponent, but it's not a soft opponent. So I expect the game to be within margin to some degree. I mean, or OKC will probably win this game between the margin and like, I don't know, -8, something like that, -10 at maximum. But if you look at the assists for Shai, holy smokes, has the man been on a tear.
Yeah.
And I just don't think the line is adjusting to it. I will be honest, the juice on it isn't incredibly sexy at all, but I'm trying to place a winning bet. You can actually get it at -138 right now, actually, at FanDuel. That's not bad. Most of these like 150, 160, or -160. Look at the freaking delta. That's right. If you look at the delta, though, you can see where the potentials are coming through, especially like Boston's, I think, is a really good example of this. There is reason he should get the 6.5 assists against Boston in particular, just because of the way they defend. But for him to get 9 assists versus Boston says a lot, in my opinion. I think 6.5 is just too soft here.
Yep. Webster's dictionary defines a delta as the difference between two things or values. So when we're talking about the delta, what we're talking about is, I wanted to get that definition, the space between the adjusted line. This is his closing lines. This is what his lines have been at. It was like 6.5, 7. It was 7.5 against Denver, 6.5 against Boston. This says 7 instead of 6.5 because Boston's so good at limiting everything that it's actually like having to go over 7 when we say 6.5. It's adjusted upwards for how good the opponent is. Same here for Minnesota, 6.5. So it's been 6.5 on the dimes, but the expected number is based on his potentials. So in this game against Minnesota, 17 potential assists. You'd expect him to be at 9.5, closer to 10. In the game against Boston, 22 potentials in the game of his life, where he had 15, or you had 9 times in that one. Was it? Yeah, Denver, he had 15 on 19 potentials. But if he's up at 19 potentials, 17 potentials, you like him to get 7 dimes. And that's what Matty's saying here when we talk about the space or the delta between the green line and the blue line. That's what you're looking for, because it shows that what his recent outcome has, or his recent potentials have been, is much higher than what it is on the adjusted line, on the closing lines. And that's all we do on Props Madness as well. Is like, if you're going to ask me about SGA assists, I'm not going to look at, when I go to his assists on here, I'm not just looking at this green and going, oh my God, he's done it in like 8 of the last 10. He's killing it. It's not just about that. It's about the potential assists. And that's what the green line is showing you, is that he's, I mean, in these games right here, last 18 games, he's averaging 14 potentials alone. And those have only gone up here in like the last 10, like I said, to about 16.5 in the last 10. And that's what you see right away with that green line is, oh my God, those potentials are all the way up here, right? This is about 20 potentials, 18 potentials a game. You see what I'm saying? So I love that look for SGA. Even if you got to drink some juice, we have him all the way up at a 7.7 assist projection here, partly based on what he's been doing, partly based on Orlando's not that good, man. Like, they're a good defense, but they're not the 3rd, 4th best defense like they've been. And they're not playing at the 3rd slowest pace in the league. They're up into like the top 1/3 of the league in terms of their pace. So they're actually a decent, not an awful opponent anymore to play against. I do think the assist is the way to go for SGA in this game. I wanted to bring up Paolo. I don't know if anybody had a question about Paolo, but I want to talk about him. So we're going to do that for 1 second, which the points just looked low to me right away when I was using Props Madness and really the books just to find the number here is like 20.5 is low. And this is what's interesting to me, right? Because again, this is what's really helpful is you see this 22 right here. His or the line itself for him is 20.5. We have that listed as 22 because OKC's defense is so good that for him to get 21 points is really like a full point extra. Like, he really needs to get because it's adjusted upwards for how hard the opponent is to score against. And even with that upwards adjustment of how hard it is to play against OKC, it's still telling you to buy it because it's been at 24.5. And granted, all these defenses suck. Like, these last 3, I mean, Miami plays fast. I would say Cleveland kind of sucks on defense, and Washington and Atlanta not as good on defense. This number has been all the way at 24.5. Now it's down to 20.5. You really, I guess, if you think there's a 4-point difference between OKC and like the Thunder, or excuse me, the Cavs and the Heat, then it seems like that's just too low at that point. I don't feel good about taking it over versus Paolo, but this would be like if you just wanted to play market math here and just go, the market is low, it's a buy spot for the stock, then you go over on Paolo, right? Did you consider this?
Yeah, I noticed the number. I didn't bet it myself because I found Paolo pretty inconsistent this year, but it's the spot to do it. The number's low, no Wagner, no Black. Yes, I think it's the spot to do it. 20.5 is just not accounting for that.
Yep. I agree. So I haven't been able to pull the trigger because, again, it's the Thunder. I'm like being a little baby about it. But even, I mean, in the last game he played against them, he scored 17. If this helps you get there at all, and I'll move on. If anybody has anything else for this game, jump in there with your bets. We're happy to talk about it. But if you look at this in the head-to-head against them, one game, I'm just saying he was 6 of 17. Pretty much the same story here, except for actually no Anthony Black, but like 6 for 17. If you take 17 shots tonight, it's a good shot at 21 points. So it was just obviously. He was 6 of 16, partly because he's playing the best defense. So there's that decision you'd have to make. Would you bet this, or you're still like, it's the Thunder, I'm not in a rush to bet it over?
Yeah, it's that's the part for me. If I didn't have other bets on the card specifically in this game, then yes, I would bet it.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to overexpose myself in this game.
Yeah, it's just the exposure that you'd have to take to bet against the Thunder. Actually, interestingly, because he's a shot creator, OKC, I guess they have not been doubling the ball quite as much.
A lot of conversation in this
Yeah.
in the chat about it being a back-to-back for Orlando. Do you have any reservations for that specifically?
Not necessarily. I'm trying to see. There's no back-to-back issues here. It looks like there's not really anybody resting more or less on back-to-backs necessarily. For this squad, they don't really have like old man guy who they need to sit on the back-to-back. They're all like younger than 31, I think, on this team. Like Desmond Bane is a veteran for them. So yeah, I think I don't think the back-to-back is going to matter quite as much. I understand not like it being a bad spot in general when anybody's on a back-to-back, so it's a part of it. But I at least wanted to point it out. I'm, like I said, not in a rush to bet overs. I think the guy that I think I need to get a bet down on now, if he's still at 7.5 points, is Lou Dort. We just have sort of those numbers where we look at guys and we like know, because we're doing this every damn day pretty much. We know what a guy's number is consistently and when it looks low. And 7.5 is low for a guy that is normally at 8.5. Against the Timberwolves, 8.5, against the Celtics, 8.5. Everybody here, it's 8.5 or 9.5 based on who's out. So I don't know. I guess it's because he's gone under pretty consistently recently that like maybe you don't like this as much. But did you bet this?
No, but I want to. I really want to.
I think I'm about to.
Because it goes back to the old analogy of like who's going to be left open. It's going to be Dort. Like, I mean, that's what it's going to be. And I wanted to answer David. David brought up a really good question. Where is it at? It's right here. How many minutes did he play Paolo last night compared to season average? So he played 33 minutes last night. I think he's on like 34 minutes on the year, 34.9. So there's something there for sure. I would think if it's being at home into a 10-point spread, I would think he's at least seeing the floor for 30 minutes. I would think.
Yeah.
But definitely a good observation.
If there was some bigger outlier on Paolo's minutes, oh my God, it's down to 19. FanDuel. It's going to come down to 19.5. I'm probably going to hit it at 19.5 at that point. That's crazy. If there was a bigger outlier on his minutes last night, like he played 33 and they actually tried to come back. They were down by like 25 in the third or something. But if he had played like 27, or something like that, then it would tell me maybe they were trying to save him a bit more for today. But I don't think it's like they're good. I think he plays 36, 37 if they're in the game though. Like I think he's going to go as full as they need. I don't think they're going to hold him back like that. So
I want to answer this one too.
Okay.
I know he looks abnormally low, but he's not. He looks low because more people are in the lineup. We're used to seeing him on this team in particular at like 8.5, 9.5, somewhere around there. 6.5 is not low with this current lineup, I wouldn't think. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, let's see who was missing in the last game. So it's the same as last game, right? Hart's in. Those are the only guys I'd be worried about, like Caruso, but they're all in. His shot attempts have been low against these good squads where it's a close game. I think that's part of the issue. Who are they missing at the? Yeah, they're missing Hart against the Celtics, Chet against Denver. So like some of the stuff here that you have to look at is like these guys were out. So part of the reason that 6.5 looks low is because it was all the way up at 8.5 or 7.5, even against other teams that were better. But not only are these teams better defenses, harder to score against anyway than the Magic, Chet was out, Caruso was out, right? Hart was out. In these games where the line is higher, it was higher for a good reason. It wasn't just higher for no reason. It was higher because there was other guys missing that are back now. So I'm just reiterating the point that Matty made, but showing it here. The delta is working against us here. The space between the expected and the adjusted lines, his closing lines is a little bit too, it's underneath it too. So I would be staying away from that. I hit Dort for the points. I don't always love Dort for boards necessarily. Like I'm not in a rush to take a guy who's usually guarding the best player on the other team. So in this case, I suppose they probably put Dort on Paolo. We could look at that too. I'll just do that real quick. If you go to NBA.com, not NBA2K.com, NBA.com.
Listen, while you're doing that, I just want all of the Josh Hart triple-double bettors to stand up. Brunson is out.
Yeah, Brunson's been out. Yeah, we can look at Josh Hart stuff. I do agree we should be
I was hoping this news wouldn't drop before, but I was going to say I took Hart for 8 dimes, Harper for 15 points, and Shea for 8 dimes in a round robin, and I think that's a McBanger.
McBanger. Like, can you say it one more time for us?
Hart for 8 dimes, which won't be available anymore, I don't imagine. Shea for 8 dimes, and then Harper for 15 points. And that is a round robin, not a parlay, just to be clear. If you want to sprinkle the parlay too, go ahead. But the whole purpose of a round robin is you can hit 2 instead of 3.
Yep. Love it. What did he do in
Swish,
this
I got
game?
you. We'll pull it up. I got you.
Yeah, thank you. He had 6 rebound chances against them last game. 3, it's just not something I want to bet for him consistently for Lou. I was trying to see, he guarded Desmond Bane. That was the point of me going through NBA.com like this, was like, let me go to that box score, see who he guarded. He guarded both Paolo and Desmond Bane. Those are the guys on the ball the most. Not a great spot for rebounds. I don't have an angle to get there with it. So I just wanted to at least answer the Lou Dort stuff because I brought up his points. Let's keep rolling. I want to keep rolling through stuff here. Quick reminder too, this is the SwishLand Dash. I'm going to get to the next game here. And I also have to write down Paolo because if he gets a 19.5.
Alvarado is starting, by the way.
Wow. All right, we can get to that game. I have some thoughts about LaMelo next, but we can get to that game. As I quickly remind y'all, this is the dashboard. We got this full suite of tools. So if you guys want to check this out, you get the free trial. Definitely recommend just heading over to the subscribe the link there. It's just landyourbest.com/subscriptions. Got everything you need with free trial, so you can test it all out before you ever get anything. But that's all the stuff we're looking at for those who are rolling in and wondering what the tool is that we keep bringing up on screen here. It's the SwishLand dashboard, and it is compliments of your boy Swish, who's in the comments. So if you want to ask the architect of everything we're doing here, go ahead. You have direct access to like the lead developer for the company. If you want to ask Swish, just tag him at Swish Info, and he's happy to relay some of the stuff on the dashboard for you guys too as we keep rolling through. So, all right, you want to do you want to get to the Knicks game now that they announced the starter?
Yeah, hopefully, we will have some adjusted lines. That's kind of my only thing that I'm scared about here
on the dash.
Yeah, because there's no way the 6.5 dimes for Josh Hart is still available. I would be very shocked. Yeah, everything's at plus money for 6.5 dimes. I just don't believe that.
Yeah. Looks like Jalen's officially out for us on here. So some of these projections, though, are going to be pretty accurate at this point.
You want to start with Mikal? You probably can start with Mikal then. Swish said Mikal is very cheap. Where is it at? I saved it.
I know. The problem is that you have to bet on Mikal.
There it is. All right, Swish, convince us to bet on Mikal.
Let me look at him.
You got 30 seconds.
But you have as much time as you want. Perhaps again, the problem with betting an over on Mikal is that then you're going to have to go spend the rest of your evening looking at a box score, hoping that Mikal has points. That's the problem. But the thing that Swish is talking about here is like if you look at everybody's prop lines, why is Mikal still at 14.5 when he's at 14.5 damn near every game? Technically, he's been at like 12 or 13.5. He's been so boo-boo. Man, and that green line is not helpful either in that he's not taking very many shots. But like, yeah, let's see if there's a without Jalen here. I think Jalen's missed a couple games. Where are you at, Mikal? Maybe we can get some of those draft picks back for you, Mikal. Let's do without Jalen. Yeah, 17.8. Let's go to that usage. Usage stays about the same. Field goal attempts go up by about 2.5. So almost 3 more shots is going to be helpful for getting more points. The touches have to go up. Like, it makes total sense to take Mikal. You just can't really, you have to kind of close your eyes, hold your nose, and bet it because the number's too low. So I think Mikal, like, that's what we're looking for when a guy like Jalen is out, is like, whose lines didn't go up far enough? Like, OG up at 18.5 is up at least a point. I guess Mikal's up from what he's been at because he's been at 13.5 more recently. So that's what this 1 point bump is. But 14.5 for him on the season has basically been the number. I'm probably going to stay away because of how much I hate him. But yeah, Swish is digging in the dirt, and that is in the dirt. Like, you got to get down into it and go, wait a second. He's normally at a higher number, and without Jalen Brunson, he's not going up enough. That's a way to look at Mikal for the over there from Swish.
So the Hart dimes is actually the correct number. It's actually like, on MGM down to 5.5 minus 155. Which I don't particularly understand this. I guess the Alvarado news has got people excited about him starting potentially.
It is possible because I don't think Hart's played any games. If we go back to PropsMadness, I don't think Hart's played any games without Brunson. Yeah, with Jose. So he's got 4 games without Brunson. The dimes look really good. We were talking about this earlier. 9.3 assists in 4 games. 4 games. Let's keep that in mind. This is a bad team overall, but I think they're they're 11th limiting assists. So they actually are playing that defense where they don't give up shooters. They allow the guy on ball to score more, right? So there's nothing here with Jose that's going to really be helpful. We could get into the on-off numbers, but again, it's not going to be super helpful. But I would guess that Jose dips into it if he's out there. I don't know if he's going to play more than like 25 minutes, but maybe they give him full run.
Yeah, there's a lot of steam on the under for Josh Hart at 6.5 dimes right now. Okay. DraftKings just dropped down to -139, 5.5.
Would you take the 5.5 at this point?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. The Jose news doesn't really affect me, in my opinion. As small as a sample size as there is this particular year with no Jose, I think there's as big of an sample size if you just do all Jalen Brunson without Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart over. I think there's too much cushion there not to take 5.5.
Yeah. I'm with you on 5.5. I am 6.5 definitely seemed a bit high even without Jalen. Like I'm not going to bet him to get 7 assists just because he had 4 good games this season without Jalen, especially without Jalen, but also without Jose. So I'd rather move to something else unless anybody wants to. I know we talked about that. Just Fred played Cat. We have a look for OG boards. I'll bite on the OG boards, but this is usually like without Mitch Robinson down to 4.5. Juice though, not in love with it. I'll pull up OG over here. What was the other one that someone brought up that I wanted to at least say? Cat or anything like that? Any thoughts on anything I'm saying right here? Yeah, this stuff needs to come back on more books, I think, too. But 5.5 is not a number for me.
While you're waiting on that, do you want to answer this? I think this is a good question that could help a lot of people in here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Can you put that back up? I did not mean to hit that.
David, he doesn't want to talk to you.
I do, David. It's a good question. I think the answer, though, is it's really not about fading. Well, I'll put it this way. Information. Just information. That's all it is. Who has more information? Who has better information? That's all it is. If you truly, let me put it this way. If you don't have a reason for your bet, you're betting blind, right? If you're just going like, this looks good because he's done it recently, you're in trouble because the market is the line. The market is what the line is. Everybody has bet the market to a place that this is what the line should be, right? So that's why it's so accurate. When people say Vegas knows, it's like actually everybody but Vegas knows. It's everybody who's betting the line to the number that they want to bet it to. That's who put it there.
I've actually got a really good way to explain this.
Yeah. I keep doing that for some reason.
This is a sports card. I just bought this. It's Dylan Harper, right? I paid $15 for this. It's what I was willing to pay for it based on what the market was at, right? The reason I was willing to pay for that is because I thought this card had room to go up. I did not think the $15 was the right number. The market is now like $23.
So you were right.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way to explain.
But then the specific thing that I was saying in that is the information that you had to tell you that you felt most people in the market did not have that. So it's just who has information. Matt had information that told him that trading card was mispriced, right? And so he was like, the market is going to realize this is mispriced and the number is going to move towards what I think it is, like $25. There you go. So, right. And if you don't know why the market is what it is, then just don't bet against it, essentially, if you don't have any good reason. So, yeah, that's what we're saying. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but I think it's a really good question. Also a good point. Vegas is really just trying to make money on both sides. It's all about who is pushing the money as well. All money is not the same, right? Like if I bet $1,000 right now, it's not going to be as big of a deal as if Swish bet $1,000 on something right now because he's a little bit more mistrusted by the books, if you will. They know who he is a bit more, and so they're not likely to give him as much action. And if he does want action, then they're more likely to move a line based on his action than mine, essentially. So that's kind of what we're saying. All good questions, man. I love anybody who has anything like that. Please bring it up.
By the way, I accidentally lied about this. I misread. Mitch is in. That's on me.
Oh, he's now. He was questionable, and so now he's in. You're saying? Yeah.
I misread it. He is in.
Okay. What are those? What are the boards at for him? Someone just was it 7.5?
Yeah, that's P. I think they were talking about PR. No, yeah, they asked about Mitch Rob PR. It was Juke.
Okay. And the points are 5.5 coming back up. It looks like points and rebounds combined. Real quick, Swish, let me know in the chat. Does the user guide, the new bettors guide that we have, does that include stuff about market pricing or whatever? Because I would love to be able to just share that real quick, or a link to it that's up on the site, which I'm happy to do. I'll get it in a minute, but we have guides up there that would help explain all this stuff we're talking about too, for anybody who's interested. PR is going to come up at like 12.5, 13.5 for Mitch. I don't know how Jalen impacts him. If they're going to win by 15 points tonight, I don't like Mitch Rob to get more minutes. I wonder if he has any kind of fade on a blowout kind of stuff. Maybe not. He's not losing minutes in a blowout, but he's also definitely not gaining minutes on a blowout just because he's on the bench. So I don't know if I'd feel good about Mitch too much.
Swish said the market user guide does a bit in the beginner guide as well. Maybe time for advanced guide.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. The market user guide does a bit in the beginner guide as well. Okay, cool. I'll make sure that we have those guides linked for you guys too by the end, because I think there's some really, really helpful stuff in there. But do you have anything for Mitch Rob PR? Because my thing would be, last thing I'll say before I toss to you is, when I'm looking at Mitch Rob, it's who's in, who's out. If there's anybody impacting him like Cat that's out, then I might like, or Josh Hart, then I might like Mitch Rob a bit more. If I think the other team has a ton of size that they need to deal with, I'll go for it. I don't have any of those angles available to me in this game for Mitch Rob at all. So that's where I'm at.
7.5 feels like the right number with people in, with people out. Feels like the right number. And so because of that reason, I'm out.
Yeah. And I'm definitely not suggesting an under. But also, when you say he just had 22 boards on them, did Cat miss that game or somebody or something where he played against them head to head?
Cat out, Hart out, McBride out.
Yeah. Okay. So they didn't have. Out. Yeah, there was a ton of people out in that game. When we say that he had 22 boards on him, he had 22 boards in full minutes as a starter without anybody else who can rebound playing for him. So again, got to just look at the whole thing. The whole point of this, especially on the player side, is like, we have who was out in those games. You got to look at that stuff. We also have who was out on the other side who might be important. So that helps explain what the line was. So just want to make that clear. But I'm also not saying an under on him. I'm just saying I don't have an angle to go over on him. But and yes, that's what Sergio was talking about. Yeah. I think the rebounds are the only way to go for Mitch Rob. This is our boy JK in here saying the same thing that I'm thinking, which is like, I don't know if I have much for points on him on that. So, all right, let's get out of this game for a minute. I like what people are saying here, but I think we can move to a different one here. Quick reminder, as always, go ahead and give that video a like. I haven't really asked for one, but let's run those likes up. Definitely helps a ton for everybody to see it and for these videos to keep going. Let's get to the Hornets game. Shaw Miami, right? Is that what we're talking?
Do you want to start with Davian?
That seems to be someone people want to talk about. Let's
Sorry, Davian. My bad. Davian.
No, I think you got Davian's right. You got it.
Okay, I can't remember. That's all me.
Davion. What am I doing here? So we got Bam out, Wiggs out, Terry Rozier is still out. Chuckle. It's Terry Rozier's birthday, by the way. We have that on the intel. So wish Scary Terry a happy birthday wherever he's at right now with an ankle monitor on. All right. So Kalel Ware would be the first guy we want to go to, but people want to talk about Davion. So points was one look. His assist might be a bit low. Maybe we can see what happens with Bam out real quick. Who gets some stuff? Oh, shockingly. Okay, that's the other thing about Kalel Ware is Nikola Jovic is back. But looks like Davion gets a smidge of a bump right here in 8 games without Bam. You can see he's at 3.5 minutes more. He's at 1.5 more points. This is the type of stuff that is helpful. Looks like Norm's still coming off the bench potentially. We'll see what the starting lineup is for them. But for Davion, like, that would be helpful to know is the starting lineup. I don't have much trust in Davion these days because he just seems like he's a player that has not been exposed like high up on his list of guys to get minutes to. So what's Davion's cheap on the points? Okay, and that's from earlier, so I'm glad we have that. Let's see if he's definitely cheap for a reason, in my opinion. We got 7.5 on the points. We've got no Wiggs and no Bam. What have the minutes been? 26 and a 4-point loss, 27. Like, what do we need to get him to on the projection to really even feel good about it for the minutes is kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know how to look at it necessarily. How do you feel about Davion?
I think the numbers are low because, one, he's not shooting a lot, and then two, their opponent and where they defend the best.
Yeah, it's a good defense. It is low. This ain't bad that he's been getting their 8 shots, 5. Like, again, like he's been shooting 56, 80, 63% from the field when he's gone over. He's only taking 5 shots, man. took 10 there because there was no Powell, but with everybody back, it's a bit scarier than it might seem. So I guess it's a buy because it's been higher, but also like people missing. So
he closed at 7.5 with Norman and Wiggins out. That's notable. The last time he played the Hornets,
and these guys
and he got 13. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess in that framework, like it is super low. I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair number in my opinion. Now I wonder why the last like 5 games in particular. Well, actually, really the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's only under in the last 10 games. I wonder why the last 5 in particular he's over over 10 in 5 of the last 4. Is he attempting more shots here?
Yes, no, it's his hot shooting. So if you're saying like
Norm.
5 games, right?
It's related to Norm.
Right. There's a couple of things. Norm hasn't been available until this last game against Orlando. He played 26 minutes. He took 8 shots and he made 5 of them, including 2 of 4 from 3. So in these last 5 games, his field goal percentage is 57%, which is 9 percentage points higher than his season average. You see what I'm saying? Like the shots have not gone up. And that's what, to me, this isn't really telling us it's a great buy spot. It's a good buy spot for 7.5. But I think the fact that Norm and some combination of Norm and or Tyler has been out over the course of these 10 games, and this green line is still consistently below his adjusted lines, right? This green line is more indicative of what he's been doing than the green that you see on the dash here, because he's shooting way above his pay grade on his percentages. In fact, if he didn't go 1 for 4 against Brooklyn in a game they didn't need, his percentages would probably be higher, closer to like 65% than 57%. Which is already absurdly high for him. So his shot quality, like his shooting has been way too hot for me to feel good about it. Right. Like it's just a lot. And I had with Herro. So actually it's up to 62%. I had a bad filter on with Herro in. So you get what I'm saying, right? I don't need to keep belaboring the point. I think the number itself is just cheap at 7.5, and I get it. But I also think that some of the recent stuff has been his usage has not been high enough for me to get there with Davion. So that's how I feel about that one. I'm assuming there's wares and Jaquez's and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to put Swish's last thought. He's cheap. The Norm in, Bam out should mitigate. Perhaps not as cheap as I thought, though.
Yeah, I think you just keep digging a little bit, and I think once you get to the percentages, it'll help you. But that's what we're seeing here, man. We're seeing the green line tell us like his usage hasn't quite been there as much, and that's with other guys out. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But I'm not going to trash anybody for taking 7.5 points on him. Why do I keep doing that? Whoa, what was the one you just pulled up?
You just dislike me. I understand.
I love you. What are we doing here? Kalel Ware. I've done this before. I swear to God, I've done this before. Kalel Ware, where are you? Right here. Let's see what this tells us. Yeah, it's just going to be high for what it's been. The boards are 11.5. It's just a tough matchup. So, but the boards would be where I'd go first. Did you bet on him or think about betting on him?
No. Obviously the rotation's slightly different. I don't think it's different enough to truly impact where I believe where. Yeah, okay, never mind. 11.5 is very high, I think, for a guy who's the thing that's confusing to me is here is does Miami start Jovic or do they start Ware? Because one of those two is going to be the backup. I would assume they probably start Ware just because homie's coming back from injury.
Yeah.
However, I feel like 11.5 is really, really high in particular for a team who's playing the Hornets, who has Musa on the other side and is just an absolute demon boarding up. So I don't know. It's probably just a very fair line. I'm just not rushing to bet it.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get there with it. He's at 11.9 in 8 games without him. The Rebs go up to 19.6. It's a lot of rebound chances. But again, 30 minutes, 17 rebound chances, just 6 boards because he's going up against the Musa. So I do think there's a little bit of like hesitation to feel good with the matchup. But I understand wanting to bet Kalel Ware without Bam. And obviously, if we pull up Bam without Bam over here, again, Kalel Ware is getting about 8 more minutes and 2.3 more points per game without Bam. And he's also at 11.9, which is about plus 2.5 more reps as well without Bam on the season. Brings him to about the number. So
any thoughts on this? This is clever.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know if there's gonna be enough with the matchup specifically for how Charlotte plays defense. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know if that's gonna be a bit of noise. Like if he's gone over against them with consistency, and there's I'm not like, are they good in transition? Is kind of what I'm thinking. Like 12th in transition, he tries to score in transition. It's pretty good. I don't think there's enough there to like make a case out of it necessarily. You're talking about the head-to-head stuff, which was without Norm and without Wiggins, without Herro and without Bam, without Norm and without Herro. So if you're going to make a case for him, I get it, right? Because without those guys, his line was 13 and a half, 14 and a half, 15 and a half on the points. No Wiggs is out there, but yeah, I think Jaquez does seem a bit high for just because he's gone up against this team, played well. I don't know if that's good enough for him. I can take a quick look at Jaquez too. We have him at 16, 21 and a half. We have him at about 26 and a half. So I do think, yeah, I don't know if I'd be leaning into an under for him despite the matchup. I think he might still be good. So, yeah, where I don't have anything for, unfortunately, I would be leaning towards the rebounds before anything. Jaquez, I'm not fading. We have him actually as an over on the PRA with 26 as the projection for him. And then Davion, I get things looking low for him. I'm not as much of a believer right now in that, so I'm probably staying away. But the one I did want to pull up real quick that I just saw was Brandon Miller too. Let me look at Charlotte for you guys because I didn't pull them up. Just been looking at Miami this whole time. Let's make sure we get to some other games too. But B. Miller would be somebody to consider. I think he's up at 5.5 boards. He's right at the number on the points. I actually really like under on the threes for Brandon Miller. That'd be my favorite bet. I'm just going to bring that up on PropsMadness for a minute. If we bring up Brandon Miller keeps getting lined at 3.5 threes. And if it wasn't minus 180 to the under consistently, I'd be betting this like every time. I do not understand 4 threes. Like this is a Steph Curry line. And Steph Curry's 4.5, which is stupid. But I'm trying to think of who's like a 3 and like who would you have at 3.5 threes with this level of consistency, and why the hell is it Brandon Miller? I don't understand it. His 3-point attempts on the season are at 8.1. So you're saying he's a 50% 3-point shooter? What are we talking about? Like this is insane.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for weeks, right?
What's that?
I forgot. We've been talking about this for weeks. I think this was against Toronto or someone.
Yeah.
A couple weeks back, we discovered this in an office hours, and we're like, I don't know about that, champ. like that's a lot.
Yep. I hate to be the one to tell you this, but you just mixed up Toronto and Portland unintentionally, and it didn't even matter because you were right. You were just guessing that it was Toronto, but it was Portland that he did it against. So that was the matchup, was Portland, which is where here I was like 3.5 threes because people kept trying to bet an over on 3.5 threes for Brandon Miller, and I'm just like, he's taking 7 of them. He's not hitting 4 of 7 with consistency. You got to hit the under on that. But it's a minus 174. I didn't realize how good I had it at minus 150 to take this under. So just don't bet over on the threes. That's all I ask. But the points here at 21.5 is fair. The Revs at 5.5, 4.5 is a great over for me for Brandon Miller on the rebounds. 5.5 is right at the number. I know he's been doing a bit better here, but last game was like 9 chances against San Antonio. Similar, it might be a bit more against Miami. I'm not in a rush to take that. I know he had 13 in this one, 16 rebound chances. That's running hot, but you still expect him to get like 8 in that game. Maybe the pace is something. I'm just gonna look at that real quick.
Any thoughts on this? I'd be curious to look at that.
Let me just look at this real quick, and I'll look at
go crazy.
Top 10 pace for Brandon Miller. Does that do anything for you? I think that's still just a bit of noise. Yeah, I mean, it's up at 6 boards, but I think it's a bit of noise. Tyler Herro had 17 rebound chances the last 2 times versus Charlotte, and averages 2.5 more rebounds with Wiggins out. Tyler Herro over 4.5 rebounds. You're the Tyler Herro rebounds guy when he's at 3.5. I know that. I will say again, if you're looking at Tyler Herro head to head, if it's whatever games, 2 games, like who is missing in those games? That's all
right.
I wonder. Rebounds head to head. Get to that suggested H2H. There's only 1 game this season. Okay, and the last 2 times you're including is last season, right? I don't know. You want to go back to last season, so
his potentials are up, but it's also against Brooklyn twice, the Hornets once, Detroit, and then Orlando. So 3 of the last 5 games he's played in which his potentials are up were good opponents.
Hmm.
I wonder if, the only thing with Detroit was Asar was out, so that's not particularly stay away for me. And then Orlando only, I don't hate it. I just think I was, again, you mentioned this off rip. I was betting this at 3.5. 4.5 seems like a tall order for a team that's playing a team that's really good at rebounding themselves. However, the opposing side of that coin is Miami does play fast. So I understand Tyler Herro is playing for Miami, so don't get that misconstrued. So the Hornets will have to play at a faster rate or pace than they normally would. So there's the chance that you might be able to squeeze out an extra ward there, but I think it's just fair more than it is anything.
Yeah, that's how I'd read it. I think 4.5 is just not the number that I want to play for Tyler Herro over on the boards. So, quick reminder: got the dashboard. That's what we're using here. Do have the free trial available for y'all. Also offering the ability to jump in for the free month if you guys are interested. Got the link to in the description of the video. But if you do sign up for any of the partner sports books, also happy to give you guys your first month of access for free. That gives you access to everything, including the Discord, as well as the full suite of projections and the tools that we have up on the site. So just sign up for any of these books. Like I said, use code LYB. Novig is up there, a couple others as well that you can use if you don't have an account with any of these. Sign up for them, use that code, and then just email us to let us know you did. It's support@landyourbets.com. If you hit us up and let us know that you did sign up for any of the books there, we'll go ahead and give you a code for a free month of access on the site there. But let's get back to betting. Do you have a bet you'd like to go to? I know we were talking about the Hornets a lot. I did want to, lastly, sorry, I didn't bring this up. I should have. I think LaMelo Ball is too high at 7.5 dimes. He has not been getting the potentials as of late. Against the Spurs, 11 potentials. I don't like that for him to get that many. Obviously, he didn't need to do as well against the Kings. But 8, 8, 8, 13. Even if he's at 13, I don't love him to get 8, man. If he's at 13 potentials. This game against Miami, he had 13 potentials, ended with 5 assists, right? Like, I don't love LaMelo's dime. I like the under on that right now. I don't remember what it was. It was a little bit juiced, but I think I might be taking that at under 7.5 dimes in a minute. So just wanted to bring that up before I move on. Do you have another place that you'd like to go, Matty, or if the comments are taking us there?
There's a lot of questions about the Pistons game if you want to go there. I don't have anything in this game. But
we need lines. I need lines for backups. Pull up Detroit.
That's kind of my
what do we have? 20 point spread.
A lot of people are asking about Cade double, Cade assists, all of those things, and I don't know that that's what you want to be looking at. Yeah. I mean, I get it inside of a vacuum, but like you're just, again, like I said yesterday, you're just gambling to gamble at that point.
Right. Yeah, you're not gambling with an actual angle. So Cade on the dimes is not something I want to fade. It's up to 10.5. Double is not going to be worth it juice wise. It's minus 185. I just don't think there's a good bet on Cade in this game because if anything, I'd be fading him with him not needing to do much. Like I think if you look at Cade in these last bunch of games that he's been playing, it's all about this for most teams right now is are you trying or are you not trying? And if you're playing teams that aren't trying, you've kind of shown you're going to play a different way than if you're playing against teams that are trying. That's really what it comes down to. His assists have not lost traction despite playing, other than Toronto, 30 minutes pretty much max in this run of games over here. Anybody who's bad, he plays less than 30. Anybody who's good, might play 40. Washington is not good. So I think the points to the under almost to play, like, look at how many shots he's not taking when they're just dog walking teams, right? And then how many shots he's taking against Miami. He sucked against San Antonio. I don't think we had the potentials there, but the first San Antonio game he sucked, but he still took 26 shots in this game against San Antonio. He's taking a ton of shots against good teams and not taking shots against bad teams when he doesn't have to. So I'm not ever going to fade his assists because this dude's gotten like 12 assists, 15 assists in like 26 minutes recently. So I'm definitely not in a rush to fade his dimes. I would actually think of like a 10 plus assists and under on the points kind of negatively correlated bet for Cade tonight because he just doesn't have to do it, man. He doesn't have to play hard. Wasn't Jalen Duren at 21.5 points? Is he still at that ridiculous number?
I'm sorry, I've been reading chat. There's been a lot of conversation.
Yeah, no,
and then also grabbing.
I can definitely. I'm also kind of talking to myself when I say that, so no worries. But yeah, hit me with anything you got. I just realized like
this is the only angle that I would look at. I'm not taking it. It's the right spot to take it. I just think it's priced in.
It's just, what if he plays 15 minutes again? He played 28 here.
I think he got injured in that game in particular when he played 13
against
minutes.
Philly.
No, Washington, the last game.
And he missed some time, and you're saying he might have gotten hurt in that game.
No, I think he did. I think he did get hurt in that game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not as worried about the head-to-head. I'm more worried about the blowout stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna tell you not to. I'm just gonna say, like,
I can't either. There's certainly not a logical reason not to, outside of, again, I just think it's priced in, and that's the reason it's 11.5, not 10.5.
Oh.
He says the Rebs are fair on Duren, just pressure. I put it 10.5 is fair in my opinion, but I get it. I mean, I'm saying that knowing that I'm saying that without counting in that they're playing Washington, so 11.5 could be very well be fair, but I just don't trust Duren like that, to be honest with you.
I just don't trust the game.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
That compounds as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. When we get into a 20-point spread, you just got so many ways for things to go wrong, man. Maybe some first quarter bets for those Pistons. I don't hate that. Yeah, I don't hate that. First quarter bets could be the way to go for some guys. Let's see what Cade's first quarter points are. 6.5. What's Jalen's at? 5.5.
I just want to read Swish is right here. I am just not betting it because I don't want to bet into this game.
Yeah. I see what Swish is saying, because you got to put all the factors that matter into my bad. You got to put all the factors that matter into the projection. So, like, the things that come into play is if you think 10.5 is the right number when he's playing like a neutral squad, like the 16th best defense in the league or whatever, then you give him a bump up one for playing such a bad team in Washington. You give him another little bump based on the fact that his backup center isn't available as well in Big Stu. So, all right, let's keep looking for a second. Anything else in this game? I know that I'm not going to bet on Cade. Like I said, there's just too much of this.
This is what I would do if I were to bet this game, and I might wait.
Oh my god, dude! I'm not trying to do that. I swear on it.
Never mind. I just realized I was thinking this number's at like 18.5 or something, but no, it's 21.5. Yeah, I wouldn't do this.
Yeah. Javonte Green, I don't know. Does he get a little bit more a run in the blowouts? I was looking for him earlier in the season. Right now, if I'm looking for the end of the bench for the Pistons, I'm kind of looking at Dennis, who we can't get props for. Dennis Jenkins.
Yeah, that's who I'd be looking for.
But I don't know why we can't get props for him.
I do. It's because they don't want to give them out.
They're scared. But I would be looking at the dimes. If we get anything around like 3.5, if you want to play Dennis Jenkins assist live, that's kind of how I'd be looking at the end of the bench for Detroit, that I feel like I can trust, because it's young guys too. Like if Javonte wasn't a seasoned vet, I feel better about that he's going to get burned. But let's take a quick look at Javonte anyway. Just using like a blowout filter for a second. Let's do
Swish is talking about Hyland, which I think is a good look.
Or Hyland. I guess he would be the slightly younger guy. I don't love Hyland as a player in general. It's my problem. But if let's say we put 15 plus for Javonte, that is a pretty good look just based on what he does here. What's his minutes uptick? First of all, we maxed out. Okay, so in 18 games, he's gone over this in 14. Minutes go from 18 to 20. Not a ton there, but usage, not a ton there. Field goal attempts, not a ton there. Let me get to rebound chances, not a ton there. So nothing's really going up other than like a couple minutes, but maybe it's because they're playing boo-boo comp when they win by this much. Like the quality of these games is not great, right? Or the teams they're playing, like there's a lot of Nets, Pistons, Nets, Pacers, Kings, more Nets, Grizzlies. So I don't mind it. I think he is someone that would benefit in the blowout. If you like that, that's another guy I'd be looking at before I'm looking at too many starters for the for the Pistons. But I can see Ron Holland, pull him up as well. I get all that stuff. So pick your backup, honestly, is how I'd be looking at this game. So
I'm personally not betting any of these things live. I'm going to get the numbers live. I'm sorry, betting any of these numbers pregame. I'm getting the numbers live.
Yep. I like that idea. Let's at least close here with some Cleveland, Milwaukee. Is Rollins out? Do we know what update is here? I know Giannis is out.
I've posted about a bajillion different things in the chat, and I don't remember all of them, unfortunately. I know that Dang is in. Miles Turner is out. My God, the entire team of the Pacers decided to drop their IR news. Give me 1 second to sift through all of that.
Yep.
Rollins will try to play 3 minutes ago.
Not a
He
ringing
will try.
endorsement.
He's going to try, guys.
I think we know who Swish is going to tell us to bet on, right?
Bobby.
And his name
said
rhymes
about
with
15 times.
How many times has he said Bobby in the chat?
I think like 4 times.
Swish is just muttering Bobby to himself in his house right now. Bobby. Where's Bobby? What's his points
not
line?
lined.
Still not lined.
Not lined.
Cowards. They know, Swish. They know that you're just waiting to pounce on them. It'll come out. I don't know if Ryan Rollins. I know Chang was talking about some KPJ dimes. Oh, that was at 6.5 though.
Chang, I promise you, I have not ignored the Bones Hyland. I haven't favorited. We just haven't got to that game. I don't know.
Do we have Bones lines? We got Bones lines. I'm down to just go to the bets. We should just run at this point. Let's just do our run through. He said anything at 9.5 or better was good for Bones, but he loves this without Ant, right? These minutes over here, he's still playing under 10 minutes. Then they give him 36, 34, 21 in a big win against the Bucks. This is not going to be that big of a win. 17 against Houston for whatever reason. I guess it's Houston. And then 25 against the Dubs. His minutes have gone up big time. The points at 8.5 makes total sense to me. Wow, we're getting 2.5 dimes. That's bonkers as well to me. Even if he had 5 potential assists, I like that number. Okay, I like Bones as well. I totally see it. What Chang was talking about. Yep. And we have some intel. Oh, you were trying to pull it up too. This is something that's awesome that's pulling through up on the intel, which I love. I'll just show that. That's on the Edge Exchange for y'all if you guys ever check that out. It's all under the SwishLand tab here on landyourbets.com. But if you look at the betting edges, we have the intel pulling through as well on this little exchange. And you can get some really good insights that Swish is scouring the internet for to help us get some of that kind of info. If you go down to like the Minnesota stuff, I just pass it. You'll get some of that info. I don't know if it pulled through here. Maybe it's somewhere else, but that's where he's pulling this type of stuff from is like, here's what you should, here we go. Bones Hyland increased usage to create transition opportunities with Edwards out, right? So like, yeah, his usage should be going up with Ant out. That's been the intel coming out of Minnesota. It's the intel coming out of the media covering Minnesota, right? Not just the team itself. So yeah, this is intel from the from podcasts and things like that are pulling that type of stuff out to help us find those edges. And that, David, is where you're going to be able to trust yourself over the market big time. Whatever the market says, it's not often that they're going to take a coach's quote. If it's not widely publicized, then not everybody has that information. And right now, I would guess most people, there's not enough people that had listened to the podcast that we pulled that bit of info from to help us. So that's a bit of an edge over the market, is where we're at. Great question. We're in this game, so let's see. I do think, my bad, not that one. This one, the Max Strus thing. I know that our boy Chang was talking about that. Chang, do you want to jump in? Did you have a Max Strus stock? Because you said he had some pretty big usage in his first game back, which was just his first one. But let me pull it up.
I think there was intel about this too.
About Strus.
I think I read about this. Give me one moment to find the.
Whoa.
Actually, do you want to pull up the intel thing that you were showing earlier?
Yeah.
Go to
Max.
Just search
right
Bones
here?
Hyland. Yeah. There you go. No, you're right. Max. I got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
Yep. That is, I mean, they're starving for shooting outside of Sam Merrill. They don't even really play Jalen Tyson anymore, which is wild. But they are starving for shooting. And I guess Jalen Tyson's getting bumped out now by Max Strus, who they love. So whatever. We're not going to have anything on here that's going to help us. But based on his one game, we have a projection of 12 points because that's all the data that we have for Max Strus this season is that in like one game, he scored 24 in 23 minutes. I think this is fine. He went 6 for 7 from 3. He took 7 of his 9 shots from 3. I don't hate the threes. I don't hate the points at all. I think those are all, if he's coming back that aggressive, you've got an easier game. Okay, let me just put a little bit of kibosh on it just to say, if I were to tell you why I wouldn't take this, well, they lost by 10 to Dallas. That's right, because they were in that back and forth with Dallas. This is a 12.5 point spread. So I think you can take that into consideration, that if he's a guy coming back off an injury, he might not need to play that much. But all right. Trying to see if there's anything else in those comments. About to roll because I got to try to get some of these bets down myself. I only have one thing right now, but I think I'm about to get LaMelo Ball. Any parting thoughts, Matty?
No. I mean, I still like Josh Hart. Honestly, I placed the bet at 6.5. I feel very comfortable.
Let's see. Is he at 5.5 assists now? Do we know?
Yeah.
Oh baby.
I still like it.
It's fluctuating. Yeah. Would you take 6.5 plus money though? Yeah.
I mean, no, I would take the better number with juice, but I still feel very comfortable with.
No, I'm sorry. If you only had 6.5 plus 110.
Yeah.
And not
yeah.
5.5.
I'm very. I wish I would have took 6.5 at plus 135.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think the RA is interesting too. With the boards being something that I think he can continue to do against the Pacers. I think I'm pretty confident he's had a very good history of rebounding against them. I usually try to take them.
To be responsible, I will say, since you are getting 6.5 plus 135, do like a 0.75 unit on it. Don't do a full unit.
Yeah.
Adjust for the money that you're getting.
Yep, I dig it. Okay, good stuff. We're gonna roll. I know there's a couple other things we could be looking at. I appreciate you guys, man. Definitely give the video a like. I should have a video. I'm solo parent one more day. It's tough in the morning with her to get a video up and all this, but we are gonna be live again tomorrow. So I hope to see y'all in the live show tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you are checking everything out on the site as well. If you're interested, we've got the free trials available for all this stuff on the dashboard, the Edge Exchange, which has some really great stuff on it. It's just pulling through the best projections, the biggest differentials between what, like, for instance, the model loves Max Strus. It thinks that 9.5 points, 3 is probably better. Not a big sample size for him, but that's the kind of stuff that we have up there. It also gives you access to the Discord. Just want to make sure you guys know about that because the Discord has the prop bot in there. And I absolutely love sharing that with you guys because I think it's been something that people have truly, truly loved. Let me pull it up for you real quick. It is in this channel. If you check out the prop bot, this is what you are looking at. You're looking at the ability to just ask for anything. You see, you just ask Davion Mitchell from Boston Irish Lad, and then he gets the full suite of projections here for Davion. This is in the Discord. So it's $9.99 a month to just access the prop bot. Get access to the dashboard essentially the same way that you would, except for it's just not on the dashboard. It's in Discord, and you'll get the insights that pull through. You'll get the matchup data if there is any, all that kind of stuff, right? So I hope you guys check that out. There's also the free trial available for the prop bot. And Thursday, after we're live tomorrow on YouTube, on Thursday, we're going to be back with the office hours available for everybody. So we'll do that for the first 99 folks that want to jump into the office hours inside Discord. You'll get a chance to use the Discord bot during that show, so you can test it out in there as well. But lots of like, man. I appreciate you guys big time because there's been a lot of love coming in, especially in the Discord. And I know you guys see the hustle that we're putting in behind the scenes and on the show and everything. But we're going to keep it going here. So best of luck. Shout out Swish, as always, in the comments, doing the Lord's work for you guys, since Matty and I are always trying to get to as many comments as we can, but there's a lot of them. So hope to see you guys tomorrow on the live show, same time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Till we do, happy betting.